This case involves gang, so I have to word this differently to avoid a removal. The case starts following an attack that happened on September 2020 in the German city of Hamburg. The victim was a 15-year-old German girl. The attack occurred during a festival that lasted nearly 3 hours after she was dragged into a bush. The perpetrators were from Afghanistan, Kuwait, Armenia, Montenegro, Iran, Libya, Egypt, and with two other nationalities still undisclosed. The German judge that let them walk free was Anne-Marie Göring, who I will make another video about. This video, however, focused on the expert witness used, psychiatrist Nyla Summer. In her own words, she described how disordered, unprepared migration experiences and socio-cultural homelessness increases the risk of addiction and psychosis. Sex, she continued, could serve as a means of releasing frustration and anger. She further suggested that this group's assault fosters identity and strengthens group feeling, insinuating that this violence may have been a means to let off some of the frustration that supposedly comes with migration experiences and socio-cultural homelessness. Simon said that they who live in the margins of society, completely uprooted culturally, linguistically, and socially, might face a mix of emotions of anger, sadness, powerlessness, depression, fantasies of grandeur as a compensation attempt to cope with one's own misery, and drug use. The typical horrific treatment towards the victim was also on display when the perpetrator's lawyers stated that it didn't prove it was forced, although the recording of the attack was deleted. Why would that be if there was consent? And the victim also had injuries that didn't match that of consent. While presiding judge Anne-Marie Göring acknowledged that none of the defendants uttered a word of regret during the trial, she nevertheless sentenced 8 of them to probation of no more than 2 years. Only one perpetrator, a 19-year-old, received prison time. He was sentenced to 2 years and 9 months in prison without parole. Matthias Jahn from the Goethe University Frankfurt stated that the court took into account that the fact that none of them had previously been sentenced to a youth prison or had been convicted of similar offences, which is an odd take considering the attack lasted nearly 3 hours and could have lasted longer as they followed the victim afterwards as she boarded transport and the ordeal only stopped as passersby intervened. Just months prior, 10 migrants, 8 of which were Syrian, an Iraqi and an Algerian, were sentenced to prison in July 2020 for an attack on an 18-year-old woman in Freiburg. The maximum prison sentence was just 5 years and 6 months. What message does this send to others, both perpetrators and victims? If you're a victim, then suck it up because you were attacked by migrants and they aren't to blame because they aren't responsible, but rather poverty, language barrier, and this migration experience that not a single person could explain because every migrant's journey is different, is actually to blame. And if you are a migrant, that's your excuse, isn't it? Add it to the list of other excuses migrants have been given to commit crimes and avoid deportation. It just sums up the blatant neglect many in the West have to crimes committed by migrants, those that are supposed to protect us turning a blind eye, which is ultimately leading to further crimes being committed and many migrants reoffending, often followed with just as serious crimes, if not worse, such as murder.